You said also about transference, that in this integrative body psychotherapy training, the important point is to work with transference. And at the beginning you learn psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
So what could, how to say, I take psychoanalysts like the experts on transference, maybe. But what could the psychoanalyst learn from body psychotherapist about transference?
Yeah, it is. We work like psychotherapists in transference. Huh? It's the same concept. This is Freud, psychotherapy, you know. But and sometimes they feel that it's very different because we touch the body. And how we touch the body with the transference. If people project on me transferential feelings, I have to be careful. If he has a big, huge negative transference, I'm not touch my client. We are not naive as body psychotherapy. We know already how to work with the body and transference and all those things. So if I have negative transference, I don't touch my client. I have to understand, I have to talk about, I have to do some other directions, not talk. But even though I know that the body is there, yeah, because let's say I have a client with negative transference, and if suddenly in front of me he doesn't breathe, he gets red and say, "You are a terrible therapist," or something like this. I think about his body, the efforts he's doing to me to say that he doesn't like me, or projecting me his father. And then I carefully read the body, saw this in his body, the transference, and I take care of the transference, and then I reveal the transference for him. It's like in psychoanalysis then, you know, and I don't touch. But I can say how much effort I can see in your body to say to me that you don't like me. Something like this, you know.
So you connect that with his body?
Yes, we connect the
That's
transference
maybe-
with the body work. You know, I'm not naive. I go there and I touch him. He's hating me in this moment, you know. And I have to understand who I am, which kind of projection he's doing with me, you know. And also I think that one very strong point of our training here is the psychodynamic. Understand the psychodynamic, you know. Because not all the trainees in psychotherapy understand very deeply how to work with psychodynamic. To work with the drama of our clients, the tragedy, you know, understand the parents very deep, what's happened with causal trauma with the mother, early traumas or more progressive traumas, and they understand all this complexity, not to only work the body.
So that means to work with the past also.
Work with the past, work with the history. Because sometimes I see somebody, psychotherapists, they sit in front of the client and they think also, my presence is so deep for you that I will heal you, you know. It's like they believe completely only my presence is sufficient. And it's not. I have to touch the history of the client. I have to touch his drama, you know, and help him to transform. I don't think we can heal anybody, you know. 47 years as a therapist. I have some, you know, I saw so many things, you know. But I believe that we can transform.
So what can be a good result of long-term body psychotherapy? Actually, you said one can be healed, but
yeah, but
how do you see that?
yeah, I don't believe this. Yeah, oh, I am so like I'm a borderline. I'm going to become very neurotic. You know, you always have a quality of borderline, but the transformation and how they see the world, how they possess themselves, how they can transform his view of the world and to be more in the, not integrate, I don't like the word integration, no, I feel that is also illusion that we say to our clients. Oh, you have to be more integrated. Nobody is integrated. But he has to know himself more, to touch himself more, to recognize his skin. You know, I am here from here, and I'm here from there, you know. I touch the world with my skin, and I touch my world, my inner world with my skin. So some transformation they can handle. And really I see this, you know, because so many times that, so many years that I am a therapist, I'm a witness of this transformation, you know. But I don't like to say illusion that you are going to be integrated. Who's integrated, you know? Every time we are kaput, you know. And sometimes we are integrated, of course. In the body psychotherapy I have clients from 25 years already. I have clients in Germany for 30 years, you know. I have a client, one group in Germany for 30 years. And I'm writing about this. It's really impressive how the body, and they are all psychoanalysts. They come to me in Germany to have body work because they know I do the combination of psychoanalysis, body work, and psychodynamic and transference, everything. 30 years of body work, they change so much. They know, they recognize this. They recognize so much the changing that they are going to write for my book, you know, and they are in psychoanalysis. They don't like to say, I'm in body work now, you know. They're a little bit shy of this, but they did so deep transformation that they didn't want to write for the book, you know.
I'm thinking now about counter-transference also, so on the side of the therapist. How is it taught in this training, how to work with counter-transference? Can you say something about it?
Yes. Today we're speaking about the sexuality, transference of sexual transference, sexuality, and I was saying the only possibility is to put limit without castration is to work with the counter-transference. We go a lot, what are you feeling? I'm not judging anybody, you know, as a therapist. So if they have a counter-transference different from mine, when I'm teaching, I respect. And I try to understand what are his feeling. Because his feeling coming from his history. So to work with the counter-transference is to work with the history of the therapist. I'm here because I have kids, or because I don't have kids, or I know this, or this touch me or not, you know. And then it's very important, and with training, again, to know themselves, to have self-experience, to know themselves more and more.
How do you bring the body in
the
counter-transference process?
I say it's the same as the transference, you know. The client put in me negative feelings, I can put negative feelings in him also. I don't touch him, I don't like to be touched. I have to look to my feelings. But counter-transference is very complex because I have to separate what's mine in my history and what's really from my client. Otherwise I project it the whole time. And the work with the counter-transference sometimes is acting out. And this is something very important that we have to teach. This is you, not your client. Don't act out on your client, or don't project your bad father on your client, you know. And for this, I think the training is important because demands of therapy. You have to do therapy to be in training, because then you can project your therapy, your counter-transference, and must do supervision. And I think the training is complete when we can do all those things together. And they know themselves,
When you see these trainees in the training, and as you said, everyone is looking for his own more or less individual way of being body psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Do you see also that something on this integration is challenging for the trainees? I mean, challenging like difficult.
Yeah.
Because maybe it would be easier to just choose bioenergetic or biosynthesis and to have it
Yes.
ready to cook.
Yeah. People love to have maps, schemes. Do this, 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 and this. First this, second this, third this, because they are not, sometimes they have fear to open themselves. But those trainings is about to open themselves and understand themselves also. Then I can understand the other. But of course, some people have fear of this. They want to have maps, But I think after a while, when they are in this kind of integrative therapy, they understand that's much deep the process when I don't have maps to touch my client, Because when you teach someone and say, shall I put my hand here or here or here or here, I could go crazy, because it's, how can I know that it's here or here or here or here, He has to be in resonance with his countertransference, with resonance, and then he knows where the body, which kind of exercise he can do, which kind of the part, how the touch is, because he has a dialogue with muscles, a dialogue with the body, not only the theory, It's very important to know how to dialogue with the muscles. If the muscles are too stiff, I can touch more, harder. If they are collapsed, I cannot touch harder. I have to be soft. And this, I don't need to be in this school to do this or in that school to know how to touch. If I know how to dialogue with the muscles, then it's done. The process is there,
So I think our interview is slowly coming to the end, but still one question is running a little bit in my mind. After all this experience from body psychotherapy, I also still think about people who are just at the beginning, and there is always somebody like in the training now. Is there something you would send forward to the body psychotherapy beginners?
Well, look, what I would like to say to them is don't give up. Sometimes doesn't make sense. We don't understand so much the training. It's something because don't have those maps or those things. But belief is the best. Don't give up. Try to go in your way to the end of the training program. I think then you find something very important. That's my wish, And I would like to say this because I see some people some students that they don't understand in the middle of the training, and they say, it's not for me, I don't understand, I don't know how to do this. Sometimes doesn't make sense to the end of the training, So don't give up. Go to the end, and then you find the way.
I think about Lohan that maybe you say one of his sentences was something about giving in or giving up in the body, and then you also say just find your way, don't give up, go that way.
Yeah.
Interesting combination.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time and energy.
Yeah. Thank you, it was a pleasure.
It's a very nice time.
Yeah, it was very interesting to go through my history. Thank you very much to remind me all those things.